the sacral beings, the generators, manifesting generators, open enveloping aura, right? The manifestors have a closed repelling aura. The projectors have a penetrating and focused aura, okay? Where it's really interesting that the reflector aura also carries this sort of resistance that is kind of like shielding it a little bit in order for it to be able to sample its surroundings.
1, 2, 3.
Welcome, Cosmic Explorers, to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast, your celestial compass to self-discovery and personal empowerment. We are going to take you on a cosmic journey where we dive deep into the fascinating realms of human design, astrology, and tarot, where we will unravel the cosmic codes that shape your personalities, relationships, and destinies. Welcome to the club.
Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. I was just preparing to talk to you today about the human design types. Hi, my name's Krystle, and I make learning human design easy to understand and actually how to apply it to live out a successful life. Now, as you can see by the title of this video, this is Human Design Simplified. So let's get into today's topic on what human design actually is and an easy breakdown and overview of all of the human design types. And this is going to be simplified and digestible and easy to take in. So whenever I teach classes, I usually like to start with a quote. The most interesting thing for me about operating correctly as yourself is that you see differently. You're looking at the same things. Stupid before enlightenment, stupid after. You're seeing the same things, but you see them differently. That is a quote by the founder of human design, Ra Uru Hu. Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail about him. You can go and honestly Google him if you really want. I'm sure there's a million different videos on him. He is the founder of human design. He downloaded this system, or the voice, as he likes to refer to it as, gave him this information, which is now the human design system, back in 1987. And so the thing is that this is basically, in short, a synthesis of a bunch of other systems and modalities that we're going to get into momentarily. And so he downloaded all this information, or he heard it. It was spoken to him. It was given to him. Okay. However you want to understand his story, or what story you need to understand human design. And he really was here as the messenger. And so he really created this brand new system that was really old systems just put together in a new way. And he was able to show us not only our conscious personality, which is connected to our astrology, which I like to say is our storyline. He also showed us the unconscious, the parts of ourselves that are innate and fixed in our bodies that we don't quite understand. Maybe we kind of see them, but we have probably very little awareness around them. And together, he combined the unconscious and the conscious and was able to form the quantum self. The thing that you saw as a problem, it does not necessarily need to be seen that way. It's all about awareness. Okay? This is also what Ra Uru Hu has said. At its core, human design is an awareness tool. Okay. If there's anything you remember today, it's that. And that it honestly is just one giant experiment. Human design is here to explain to the mind to give up its seat as the driver and step aside and give it up what it thought its role has been for its entire life. This is about shedding layers of deconditioning and what society, our parents, our caretakers, give a name to it, told us we needed to be. And really, we needed to be in order to survive. And what human design gifts you is the chance to actually thrive. And what I see it as, learn how to play the game. You get to learn your unique gaming system. And it's actually the body graph with it, which is the human design chart. Maybe we'll pop it up over here somewhere so you can see it. You see a body graph that is really connected to the Kabbalah Tree of Life, which is called the ladder to ascension. And what you're really trying to do is to come home to your truest version of self. Find that love, Tafiret. That is what the sphere that makes up the heart chakra, which makes up our G center and our heart ego, is what we're trying to reach. We're trying to remember how to love again. So, as I said, human design is just one giant experiment to allow the body to lead. Being alive is the expression of love. We are not loved. We are love. We are it. So you might as well stop looking for it because it is you. The beauty of human design is that it's not only a synthesis of other modalities or even a logical system that explains the complexities of what it means to be human. It is actually the body graph, as I was just explaining, the body graph itself, that is truly one of the most original components of human design. You can simply see it by pulling up a body graph, which I suggest pulling up a body graph. You can go to our website, humandesignastro.com, and you can check out the body graph that we have on there, which is connected to genetic matrix. I'm actually looking into potentially creating our own body graph because there's just so many out there and I really want it to be right. But anywho, go to a comfortable place that you like finding your human design chart. I suggest genetic matrix, mybodygraph.com, neutrino design. Also go with what feels good for you. Okay. I always like to cross check body graphs anyways and make sure they're the same. I'm a 1-3. Okay. Did I say that yet? Hey guys, I'm a 1-3 sacral generator and my name's Krystle. And so let's keep going here. Where was I going with this? So you can simply see by pulling up a body graph or someone's human design chart and automatically know how they are mechanically hardwired. Okay. How they're mechanically hardwired. It really explains that the body is the vehicle. It explains the mechanics of the way in which the body is going to operate. Okay. And we're going to break it down really easy. We're going to go through the 4 human design types and 1 hybrid today. And so you can see just in a glimpse of the eye, the surface of what it means to be human. You can see the aura and the way that it moves through the 3D material world. You can see if someone is a generator, a manifesting generator, a projector, a manifestor, or a reflector. You can see their strategy and authority and how they can be correct, operating in the confines of their physical form. Human design in its simplest form is a roadmap, the manual, the blueprint of self to being correct as an individual. It really helps you understand exactly who you are, who you were meant to be, and the roadmap to get there. Okay, in 1781, when Uranus was discovered, the human form actually mutated into a 9-centered vehicle. We are that human now. We are the transition of the new beings that will be coming online after 2027. It is said through human design that in order to know what is correct for you, you must follow your inner guidance system, known as your authority. And in order to connect to that aspect of self, we must follow our strategy. Ra has said that if you know these two functions, your vehicle will be correct. The rest of your design is helpful to know. I mean, I'm a 1-3, so I have to know this information. Excuse me, I'm a first line. But all you truly need is your strategy and authority, and you will be correct. Only through following your uniqueness through these mechanics can you truly be rewarded through life. Now, we do actually have, I don't know, I'm sure if you ever listen to our commercial, but I'm sure you fast forward through it. But anyways, we do have a free guide on understanding your strategy and authority that you can pick up on our website, humandesignastro.com, or you can go to the description down below and pick up that free guide. It's a really great free guide. It actually explains all of the authorities, explains your strategy as your human design type. And we're going to go over that today. But if you want a nice guide on it, clean cut, go to humandesignastro.com and pick up that free guide. So I would like to introduce the 4 aura types or energy types, whatever you want to call them, human design types, and the 1 hybrid. Okay. I don't like to say that there are 5 types because you'll find out why, because one of them is really just, I look at it as the accelerated version of the purest form. And, we need a little hybrid. I mean, we have hybrids in cars, right? So this is going to explain a few key points of each of these human design types and how they move through the material plane. Stick around for the end because there is a few special announcements and one big opportunity for you. So anyways, let's go ahead and dive in. The beginning is the human design chart. So hopefully we can pop up a human design chart right here for you to see what that looks like. And the body graph, that is actually the Kabbalah Tree of Life. So if you see all those lines that are running through it, they're called channels, okay? That explains all of the synchronicities and the connections between the Kabbalah Tree of Life. If you actually look at the body graph itself, and then you also put up a tree of life right next to it, the Kabbalah Tree of Life, you will notice that they look very similar in form, right? So the Kabbalah Tree of Life that explains how energy moves through the body and various information, data, impulses, and individual and operating as an individual, okay? And the configuration that is expressed through this information, okay? So that's really what the human design chart shows you. It's a data of information that shows you exactly how you operate, what triggers you, what impulses you have, the way that you express yourself. It's all there in the human design chart. Okay. So it is our strategy and authority which can assist in eliminating the control of the mind. The mind is not in control. Okay. That's the number one thing that I think that we kind of all realize at this point, as humans for most of us, but this system really explains how the mind is not in control. The body's in control. So we're going to walk through our strategy and authority for each of the human design types and how they play a role in this world. The mind is not designed to look after our well-being, okay? It is not designed to help us make decisions. It is time for you to find your natural balance on how you operate on this plane. This is an opportunity to get out of the mind, okay, and come back into the body. Now, let's walk through each of the human design types to learn how to actually enter into passenger consciousness. So let's start with the number 1 uno that basically runs the world. Okay, we know who this is. We know who this is if we know human design. We're talking about the generator. Okay, now it is the sacral that generates all of life on this planet. Okay. Now, hopefully we have a body graph popped up. Let's highlight that sacral so we can see exactly what that looks like. So Ra explains the sacral center as the bedrock of life on this planet. Approximately 67% of humanity are generator types. Okay. So that includes the manifesting generator and the pure generator. Okay. So, with this said, if you can align the generators to who they actually are and help them find their joys and passions and pleasures in life, it will dramatically change the entire energy and vibration on this planet. So, here are my thoughts on this because I am also a generator. If we can free the generator from the not self of frustration, or at least have them living more in their signature of satisfaction, okay, we could, in theory, potentially have the entire planet, including the other human design types, to operate at their optimal potential as well. Okay. This is like my life goal. One day I might give it all up, but I'm this crazy lunatic that's desire motivation that thinks that I can actually help transform the world, back into our truest nature. I feel like we're kind of running out of time a little bit. Wow, this is like my hanging 28 in Pluto that I feel like we're kind of running out of time to kind of get our shit together because the world is about to change. It is changing, but I still have that twinge of hope that humanity is going to figure it out. And I feel like the human design system is here to help us do just that. So, if you are a generator, you are here to respond to life. And in order to truly tap in to that response, you must align to your strategy, which is to wait to respond. Can we pop up that little saying right there? The strategy, wait to respond. Okay. Now, I will be diving more into this topic in another video. I'm actually going to go deeper into each of the human design types as individuals or individual energy types. Okay. Just to make sure, though, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, especially. Okay. So that we can make sure you get this video. And that's the best way to know how. And make sure you have that notification bell on. You can also subscribe to the podcast if you're on the audio version. Just make sure that you're subscribed because I have a lot more human design education on your way. And also, true crime human design is coming back. I have been sitting with a series that I want to do in my series, and I think I'm going to do it. So, I'll let you guys know about that soon. Just make sure you're subscribed. Subscribe to our email list at humandesignastro.com because you guys are the first to really know about what's going on. So now, following your strategy, okay, now human design talks about that strategy and authority is the number one to getting to live out your signature and live out as your true self. Ross, as I said earlier, that if you only knew your strategy and authority, and you didn't, and you're a human design type, that you would be good to go. Now, having the gates, channels, your variables, especially, you know that I'm a variable nerd, okay, fanatic, whatever you want to call me. I don't really care. If you have variable in the title, that it's awesome. I'm in. Okay. I'm a generator. I get super, super excited. It puts me directly in my signature to talk about the human design variables. Okay. Now, our strategy is the support tool to help us get to our signature. So, following our strategy will help us release the control of the mind to make a decision and help with the next step of tapping into our inner authority to make correct decisions. So, now for the generators and also the manifesting generators, okay, we're going to lump them together a little bit today. I believe I'm going to talk a little bit more about the manifesting generator shortly, but it'll have its own moment. Okay. So make sure again that you're here, you're ready because I have more to share. So the generator and the manifesting generator that I'll get into shortly is that they have two options for their authority. which is either going to be sacral, okay, or emotional. Only two options, okay, if you're a generator or a manifesting generator, okay? Sacral authority is the response in the now, okay? And someone that asks you yes or no questions is going to help someone that has sacral authority, especially engage with that, being a sacral being, especially engage with the sacral, because the sacral works through this yes and no fashion, this or 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 uh-huh or nodding, also big, shaking our head, big for the generator, grunting. There's a lot of grunting that comes with the sacral gates and other things. Okay, we're not going to get into all of that right now, but just to give you a kind of like a brief understanding of what that could look like if you are a generator. Okay. And so there's more to that, but we'll get into that another time. So if you are emotional authority, though, then you're waiting for what's called clarity. Okay. And you're actually going through this hope through pain cycle or wave. Okay. And this is allowing the wave to move through the body. It's like a data collector, that emotional authority. It's collecting data, it's collecting information, it's collecting the feelings that it's experiencing in their inner world. Okay. And it's here to reach a state of neutrality. Now, there's different ways in which each of the emotional channels work. Now, we do have a guide on that as well that comes with our user manual to your true self, which is basically a language manual on understanding and how to read your human design chart, also at humandesignastro.com. Okay. And so in that guide, you get a free guide on the emotional solar plexus, and it explains the waves. Some of them are spikes, some of them are big drops, some of them are like a little bit more even. Okay. So, and it's all when it's not in a high as an emotional and you're not in a low as an emotional, that you really get a chance to be in that state of neutral. It's like the fog parts. Okay. And you can see clearly. I can see clearly now. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to get into that, but you can see clearly in what it is that you're trying to make a decision of. Okay. So if the generator or the manifesting generator makes a decision through their inner authority, they have an opportunity to reach what's called their signature, as I was talking about earlier, of satisfaction. That will, again, we'll get into in another video. Now, if the generator type does not follow their authority, then they could instead connect to what's called the not self of frustration. Okay. We all know a frustrated generator. Boy, are they stuck. Okay. They're stuck in their mind. Okay. They're stuck in their way of thinking. They're stuck in initiating. Most generators have been fed manifestor propaganda to just go out there and do it. So they probably initiated in some way. Now they're frustrated and they're just like, ugh. That's what it looks like to be a frustrated generator for myself. Okay. So let's talk about the difference between a generator and a manifesting generator. I did tell you I was going to get into this, didn't I? Okay. The manifesting generator has what's called a motor to the throat. So the sacral is a motor, and then there's also a motor in the throat, which makes them a hybrid. Okay. Because they have now a defined sacral. Let's put up that body graph of what a manifesting generator looks like. They have a defined sacral and a connection to the throat that could potentially have them from a motor. Okay. It has to be, the throat has to be connected to a motor. If it's connected to the ajna, which is the mind, that little triangle up here, does not count. Okay. It needs to be connected from the sacral to the throat, connected from the solar plexus to the throat, the ego. Okay. We're not the ego to the throat. Okay. That is also a motor. It needs to be connected to a motor that could potentially have them actually what they do instead of the generator, where the generator is putting one foot in front of the other here to reach mastery. And the manifesting generator is here to do that in their own fashion by skipping steps. Okay. Or moving what could appear a little faster, at least to the eye, to the pure generator. And there is nothing wrong with that. I also want to preface there is absolutely nothing wrong with any of the aspects in human design It just is. And that's why I love it. Just is. You don't have to like feel bad about being yourself. Actually feel really good that you're someone that may feel like they appear to, at least to the outside world and maybe even to themselves as a manifesting generator, you get bored a little bit easily. No big deal. That means that you actually probably have tried out a lot of different things and you have many different passions and you just want to be able to experience all assets and aspects of life. What a ride to be a manifesting generator. So the throat is where we manifest from. So where the pure generator has to take as I said, every deliberate step to reach their version of mastery, the manifesting generator might respond to their environment and then carry out that response immediately after they experience it. Or the thing that they're trying to materialize, because where we manifest is from the throat. So if they have a defined throat connected to a motor, okay. So I like to give a little special effects. I don't know if Leah is going to throw any of them in here, but I wanted to just give a little special effects to what it looks like as a pure generator myself, looking at the manifesting generators out in the world. I'm always like, how did they just do that? Because I'm like, you seem a little bit like me, but you're not me. You're very different. You move quite faster than I do, at least the way that it appears. So the manifesting generator might respond, as I said, to their environment and carry out the response immediately after they've experienced it. Sometimes a manifesting generator does not realize that they actually missed a step and that actually did need to be taken, because sometimes this happens, okay? And they have to go back and correct it. Or they are also the ones that are the most multi-passionate beings and wearing many hats, okay? The manifesting generator can have many hats they wear, many passions they have. Whereas the pure generator is really here to kind of, this is not always true. I also want to preface that, not always true, because could be many other reasons also astrologically, house placements. There's so many other reasons why this might not be true for you if you're a pure generator, but it is probably best practice as a pure generator, and this is something to just simply experiment with, to master one thing at a time. And I found for myself, often when I master something that I thought I had this huge passion forever for, once I master that version of it, I kind of myself get bored. I'm also a Sagittarius, okay? And then I need to move on to another challenge. I guess we could call it. I don't know. So the manifesting generator will also be either sacral or emotional authority, as I just talked about earlier. So you can rewind this little video or audio and or podcast, whatever you want to call it, and watch that part again. So, and their signature is also going to be satisfaction as a manifesting generator and not self of frustration. Okay, so let's move on to the next type. Okay, I like to say the first one in the race called life. And this is one of the more rare types, the manifestor. Okay. I also like to call them the cheetah. They work very fast and then they need to rest a lot. Totally fine. They get tired. They don't have a defined sacral. Let's put up a chart of a manifestor. Okay. So the manifestor is the independent, like bold that word, the independent informer, which they don't usually like that second word. They like the first word, independent. Informer,
No.
not so much. This is the initiator that makes up approximately 9% of the population. In order to be a manifestor, you will have an open sacral, as I was just talking about. Let's put up another picture again, with a connection from a motor to the throat. So you need to have a motor to the throat. You're just not going to have a defined sacral. Okay. We'll go into more details on the potential motors for manifestors in another episode. So this is the only type where their strategy does not require them to wait. It doesn't mean, I need to preface this, that they don't have to wait or that they don't ever wait from time to time, because we all wait for something. This is life. Okay. Everything operates through this illusion of time. So we're all waiting for something. But What they are doing is waiting to make something happen. They don't need to wait to make something happen. They can just go out there and do it. Just do it. The Nike slogan had to be a manifestor. Okay. They are the starters. Okay. In the so-called game called life, as I was just talking about. So if there was a race, they would be the first one to run. They move very quickly when they have what's called an urge. Okay. But because they do not have a defined sacral, they do require a lot of rest. We'll talk more about that another time. Okay. The manifestor strategy is to inform, which for many might feel unnatural to do because they are truly independent beings. They don't want to be told what to do. My oldest son is a manifestor. Boy, did I learn this very quickly. Or they don't really like others to ask them a lot of questions or even make suggestions. Not interested. But here's the thing. Manifestors have what's called a closed or repelling aura. Now, I actually didn't say the aura earlier about the generator type, so I'm going to say it right now. Their aura is open and enveloping, okay? But don't get hung up on the word repelling for manifestors, okay? Because truthfully, you can't have others get in your way. That's the truth as a manifestor, and you know this if you are one. So it's really a mechanism of almost protection for the manifestor to have that repelling aura. Okay. So when you do inform, because as the other types, okay, I can speak for myself here, especially, have a harder time seeing into your aura. It actually, what happens when you inform us, just let us know, just give us a heads up, give us a heads up. It actually softens us to release the reins of needing to control you. I know that sounds counterproductive. That sounds like a waste of time, whatever words you need to see. Every single time a manifestor just like tells me, hey, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, I'm glad you told me that. And especially if it's something that's might even be shocking. I mean, a lot of manifestors have that 5121 baby. And that is the channel of shock. I'm thinking of a manifestor right now that I'm just like, if she informed better, that I know has this channel, make her life a lot easier. So it's just that's what your strategy is here to do. Make your life a lot easier. So in doing this, it can lead to your signature, and your signature as a manifestor is peace. When you don't have others disrupt your aura, it allows for you to be in your most natural state. Those times that you do not inform, it can lead to the not self of anger. And anger doesn't always look as it appears to do. There's a lot of manifestors say, I don't get angry. I bet you do in some capacity. And it could be mild because it also could be suppressed anger. There's a variety of ways in which these signatures and not selves can show up. Okay. So this is an opportunity to connect back to self when this happens and check in to see what actually led to that anger. I've had conversations with my manifestor about this in the past and also understand that anger is healthy. Healthy anger is important. It is a signpost after all. All of these, what I love about human design is it really just gives us signposts on what to recognize and watch because it allows us to become the watcher, okay, on what is actually happening so that we can show up as our best versions of who we are. So following your authority, which will either be this is for the manifestor, emotional, splenic, or ego, okay? Now, communication is key with the manifestor. Everything is about the throat for you guys. It should always be about communications, even though I know you probably don't want to, but that's the whole point. And having a defined throat. And we'll elaborate that on another episode a little bit more about how to work with that energy a little bit more. But truly, the more that the manifestor just informs, just gives a heads up, just lets people know your train's still moving. Doesn't matter what they say to you after you inform them. It just gets them a lot of times to move the F out of your way. Okay. Hi there, Krystle here, and I wanted to tell you about a few opportunities to dive deeper into human design outside of the podcast. So you can head over to humandesignastro.com, click on the product section, and you'll find all of these free and paid offers that we're going to talk about right now, or head to the show notes down below. So our first one is going to be our affirmations guide for the open, undefined centers. We also have tips and tricks to understanding your strategy and authority. And we also have a crash course to understanding the transits and planets, probably one of our most popular ones. So these are all free that you can pick up at humandesignastro.com. Now let's talk about some of our paid offers. So our biggest one is going to be our Color Code Variables Intensive, which is a 5-week journey through the 4 radical transformations that we run twice a year in the fall and also the spring. So we will be opening up a waitlist very soon for the fall. So you can head to the show notes down below or go to humandesignastro.com to check in and see if our waitlist is available. And then we also have, if you're not quite ready for the variable intensive, we also have determination, cognition, and environment, which we created a la carte classes and also bundles that you can pick up, and you can learn your own individual, unique determination, cognition, or environment. And they are audios and guidebooks. And then we also have our Fractal Family Framework appetizer. So the full Fractal Family framework comes free with color code, but you can pick up the more condensed version for only $11 if you're looking to find more aligned clients or find more reciprocity in your relationships and connect to more people that are like-minded like you. You can pick up the Fractal Family Framework appetizer. And then we also have your user manual to your true self, and you can learn the language of human design, like what the centers actually mean. We have a lot of images and graphics on where everything is located. We even have what is the magnetic monopole. Comes with a free guide to understanding the solar plexus as an emotional or non-emotional. And then we also have, if you're looking to book a reading with me, you can go check out what my readings are at humandesignastro.com. And then you can email me waitlist at hello@humandesignastro.com and get on my waitlist, and I will email you my openings when I am available. So this is everything that you can find at humandesignastro.com. So head over there now, check out the product section, and pick up one of these amazing offers. Now let's go ahead over back to the show. Now let's move on to the next human design type, the projector. I love talking about the projectors. So the projector, as I said earlier, the generator and the manifesting generator, they're going to have, and like, there's a little nuance to the manifesting generator, but it's operating as a generator type. So both generator and manifesting generator aura will be more open and enveloping. Okay. I like to say we're walking around like this. The manifestor is the opposite. Okay. It's more of the yang to the generator yin. Okay. So that is operating like this. Okay. It's repelling. It's closed. You can't really read a manifestor. Projector, very different. Their aura is penetrating and focused. I like to say, do not borrow this. This is mine. You like to try on other people's meat suits. Okay. I always know when a projector is around. I feel naked. Okay. I feel like something is inside of me. You get very focused and fixated on the people you interact with. And the truth about the projector is that you learn about who you are through the other. Okay. So your energy, as it's focused and penetrating, is actually here to provide and guide others. You are the most natural guides. You are the one that is going to be passed the figurative baton after 2027 and I guess lead us into a new way. I don't know what's going to happen, but that's my guess. Projectors make up about 16% 16, okay, 16% of the population. And as I said, you are here for the other because you really create systems for us. We need you, okay? We need you. In order to see and properly guide the other, though, the projector truly needs to be recognized. And there's so much nuance to this. And in order to be properly recognized, the best strategy for the projector is to be invited into that situation or relationship. They are also non-sacral, meaning their sacral center is open. Let's pop up a projector chart for us to see. They also require more rest, similar to the manifestor, but definitely in a different way. They will rest than them. But that's a discussion for another time. Your main goal, if you are a projector, is here to be recognized for the gifts and the way you see the world. Your role is to make things more efficient. And in order to do that, your strategy is to wait for the invitation. Invitations come in some form of recognition to be truly understanding of what that invitation is, okay? And it's always important to ask when a projector gets invited into a situation, relationship, job, etc., to say, do I feel recognized by the other? This is something that I ask my projector clients on a regular basis. Do you feel recognized by so and so? This will eliminate your not self of bitterness. Okay, that is the not self of the projector is bitter. And we know a bitter Betty. Okay. They wish they were invited to the party, but they weren't. And they know that they can show people a better way, but nobody sees them. And that is a bitter Betty projector. Human design is here to liberate you. Okay. So use your strategy of waiting for the invitation to have less of that bitter taste in your mouth. What will help you get there is your authority, which is either going to be splenic, emotional, mental, okay, ego, or self-projected. For the projectors, there's a lot of breeds of projectors, okay? When you follow your authority, you have the potential to reach success as your signature. Your signature is success. Now, success doesn't always mean monetary, okay? Success could feel some sort of joy in your life. It could be a successful relationship. It could be a successful job. It could be even the way that you raise your kids and see how they turn out. That is success. So ask yourself as a projector, what does success mean to me? Okay. And don't go up here in the mind. Unless you're a mental projector, talk it out. If you're a mental projector, talk it out. Okay. You'll hear the tone in your voice and you'll all of a sudden have the answer by the end of the conversation. Okay. So you're here as a projector to master a system. And you get there through the correct invitation. All right. So ask yourself, what invitations have I received lately? Okay. Take invitation inventory. Okay. Now let's move to the final type, that is the reflector. Okay. I love myself some reflectors. Oh, I'll never forget the day that I found my first reflector. And it's also to say, this is not to say like people get hung up, like they look at sometimes reflectors as celebrities. They're everyday people. You probably won't be able to spot one, except I did actually think I spotted this one. She was different. And that's the thing. Reflectors are extremely unique because only about approximately 1% of the population are reflectors. And they are the truth seekers. If you ever want to see the truth, you go talk to a reflector. They do reveal the truth on this planet because their design is completely open. Let's pop up a reflector chart. They are also non-sacral, like the projectors and the manifestors, but they are open in all of their centers. Okay, they only have hanging gates. So that means their entire body graph is white. Okay, they are the only type that has no definition. There is no consistent life force or hardwiring in the reflector's chart. Everything about the reflector is about time because their strategy is to wait a lunar cycle. They are deeply connected to the moon. They are deeply experiential beings because with their connection to the moon, they allow the unfolding of experience to be their guide. They're also another form of a guide. I almost look at them honestly as the referee of the world. They are here to sample the energy of their environment. And in that waiting of the 28-day cycle, the pattern they need to make a decision begins to unfold. And that's why it's 28 days, because they are truly guided by the moon. If you are a reflector, I highly recommend you following the transits. Now, we do have a transit guide that we give out at the beginning of every month through our email, which is called the Cosmic Forecast. If you want to get on the Cosmic Forecast, you can go to the description down below and click get on our email list to get the Cosmic Forecast. You'll get that every month. And we talk about the programs. Every time a program changes for a reflector, it's an opportunity to really learn about that particular experience. Okay. That episode that we're tuning into for that week. You are deeply connected to the moon. The moon changes about 2 to 3 times a day in a gate, okay, and about 2.5 days in a astrological sign, okay. So this is something that you really want to be grabbing that data on, okay. They are deeply connected to the moon. They are deeply experiential, and they are here to sample the energy of their environment. And in that waiting of that 28-day cycle, the pattern they need to make a decision begins to unfold. And so their aura houses a resistance. Okay. So where I said the sacral beings, the generators, manifesting generators, open enveloping aura, right? The manifestors have a closed repelling aura. The projectors have a penetrating and focused aura. Okay. Where it's really interesting that the reflector aura also carries this sort of resistance that is kind of like shielding it a little bit in order for it to be able to sample its surroundings. It also can't have other people getting in its way. So it's imperative for a reflector to also pay attention to the program that I was talking about, where I said, if you want to learn about the transits, that includes the program, the weekly forecast, basically. Well, also, you want to know about the new moons and the full moons, especially because those are like starting points for you and ending points in a more significant way. So with your hanging gates, they are all able to hook up to the gates of the program on any given day. So what this could look like is a reflector could be sampling the transit energy type through their energy of maybe a generator. And then by the end of the day, maybe they're a manifestor. So they get to kind of like try on the different human design types, kind of dependent upon the planetary forecast, you know? So the fastest moving planetary activation, as I said, is the moon moving through a gate 2 to 3 times a day. So in essence, a reflector can be hooking up to one type, as I said, in the morning and a completely different type by the end of the day. Okay. And it all depends on the circuitry of that given day. So I'll tell you what their gift is in something that I'm actually working on. It's quite extraordinary. Okay. The reflector. And there are some secrets I would like to reveal about them for each type soon. Okay. So we're going to leave the little reflector a little bit of a mystery, which they kind of are a little bit of a mystery. And we'll be talking about the reflector a little bit later on in a different episode. Okay. So the reflector's signature, when they are in the correct environment, and allowing themselves to sample each cycle throughout the month is actually surprise. So the signature for reflector is surprise. The reflector signature is an opportunity to transcend the forces that dominate their life. Okay? To enjoy the pleasant surprises of what the cycles can offer. If a reflector makes the decision before that cycle has completed, or at least has an understanding of the pattern that's unfolding from watching, they have done over and over again as the moon travels through the mandala, they will be able to experience, or let's say they don't do any of that, they're going to experience the not self. If they're not following the transits, if they're not following the moon cycles, okay, they're going to experience the not self of disappointment. Really, when they're not paying attention to their environment, okay, reflectors are deeply connected to their physical environment and the people that they sample on a regular basis. So, disappointment can be a deep sadness felt in the body when it does not wait. Okay. Sometimes even letting down others that can also lead down that road of disappointment. It's important for the reflector to pay attention to how well they interact with the people, as I said, in their environment. Their community is everything to the reflector. It always allows them to keep the health of their body. And that's also a big signpost for a reflector when they get sick, to pay attention to where did they not wait out parts of themselves, parts of the cycle to really be able to make informed decisions. So now we've gone through an overview of each of the human design types, strategy, authorities, which are the foundation, the human design itself. So when you can implement and experiment with them, the life you are meant to have will unfold naturally. With hopefully, through following your strategy and authority, can help alleviate resistance. Okay. You will still experience the hardships of life because we are all human. Okay. There's no guarantee that life is going to be rainbows and sunshines after you start experimenting as your human design type, but you'll be able to really watch and enjoy the experience of life. And it could help in a lot of ways end suffering of self that is caused by the mind. So I do have a couple of important announcements that I'd love to share with you. So, first of all, thank you so much for being here if you've watched this whole thing. Okay. And I want to actually invite all of the human design types to participate in a new series that I'm starting. Okay. And this is going to be a series on the human design types living as themselves. And I want to hear your story. I want to hear what you have been experimenting with as living out your human design type. So, this sounds like something that you are interested in and you want to participate, you want to come on the podcast, okay? I'm inviting you to come on the podcast, come on our YouTube channel. We're in both places, if you didn't know. And so we're looking for 5 people, okay? 5 people living as their human design type. So we're talking about I need a generator, I need a manifesting generator, I need a projector, a manifestor, and I need a reflector to share their experiences living as their human design type. So there is a form in the description down below for you to fill out, and we'll send you an email if we choose you. Okay, so we'll definitely need your email. And there will be a special bonus for participation because we love giving back. Okay. So we're looking for someone that is part of our community. That's also very important. And that's the only requirement for us to choose you is that you're part of our community. And because we really want to give back to our community. So I want to make sure it is a community member. So just make sure that you're subscribed to either our email list on our website. You can go to our website, humandesignastro.com, or go to this description down below and sign up for our email list. I also would love that someone is also subscribed to our YouTube channel as part of a community member as well. So those are the only 2 requirements. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you're not on YouTube, you're listening to this on the podcast, just go to the description down below and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're on our YouTube channel right now, hi, how are you? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, okay? And also give us a big thumbs up. Like, as I said, we really, really want to give back to our community, and we just want to make sure that the person that we choose is someone that's in our community. So the last announcement that I have is something also very exciting, okay? So maybe you were around in May when we did our first Intro to Variables webinar. And boy, did you have a show. Okay, first of all, I'll probably be talking about that sometime in the near future if I have the guts. I'm not sure because that was a crazy situation that occurred. And you're probably like, she's doing it again. Yes, we're doing it again. We're doing another Intro to Variables webinar on August 18th. And you can register for the free. It's free, by the way. It's completely free, the Intro to Variables webinar. Subscribe or pick up your ticket, okay? And register down below in the description. It was a blood, as I said, for the last one that we did. And we do have some extra juice for this one. So the human design variables are our internal formula to success. It's those 4 arrows that are up at the top of your chart. So if you want to learn more about those, you'll definitely want to join us for this live webinar. And as always, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to give us a big thumbs up, and I will see you over on the next one. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into today's episode of our podcast on the Human Design and Astro Club. We hope you have found the information insightful and useful. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving us a review and sharing it with your friends and family. We love to hear from our listeners, so feel free to reach out to us with any feedback, questions, or suggestions for future episodes. Until next time, thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.